Sometimes the biggest lessons in life aren't found in these epic, sprawling stories. They're tucked away in the quiet moments of just a single year. And if we look close enough, we can find these timeless virtues that honestly speak to us even today. So let's travel back to one of those years and see what it has to teach us.
We're heading back to the year 4 in the Hijri calendar. Picture it, 7th century Medina. We're going to dive into 5 specific moments from that one year, and you'll see how each one reveals a powerful virtue that's just as important for us now as it was 14 centuries ago.
All right, our first lesson is all about this incredible, unwavering generosity, and it's embodied by a truly remarkable woman named Zainab bint Khuzaimah.
So get this, even before Islam, Zainab was known by the title al-Masakin, which means the mother of the poor. Now, this wasn't some title she inherited or was just given. No, she earned it through her constant compassion, always feeding and caring for anyone who is in need. For her, generosity wasn't just something she did, it was who she was.
Tragically, after her husband was martyred in battle, she was left a widow. And to honor her amazing character and to make sure she was looked after, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, married her. Their marriage was brief, only about 9 months before she passed away. But wow, what a powerful statement about the value of compassion and the importance of honoring those who dedicate their lives to helping others.
And that same year, we also get this incredibly moving lesson in empathy, about how compassion can be a light that guides us through the darkness of grief.
Listen to this prayer. This was the heartfelt prayer of a man named Abu Salamah for his wife Salamah. They had been through so much together, and their bond was just incredibly strong. When he later died from his battle wounds, this prayer of his really set the stage for an amazing story of comfort and healing.
So in the midst of her grief, Salamah was taught a specific prayer, asking God to forgive her husband and to grant her someone even better in his place. And she said it faithfully, even though she was probably thinking to herself, who on earth could be better than Abu Salamah? Well, the answer to her prayer came in the most unbelievable way, a proposal of marriage from the Prophet himself.
And what happened next was this really beautiful dialogue. Salamah was hesitant, right? She said, I have children, I am older, and she even admitted, I have a jealous nature. But look at how each of her concerns was met, not with dismissal, but with such gentle reassurance. Her children, they would be cared for. Her jealousy, he would pray for it to be taken away. And her age, he simply said, well, I'm older than you are. It's just a perfect model of empathy in action.
And this time with Salamah actually gives us our third lesson. It's a bit more subtle, but it's just as profound. It's all about humility, taught through the simple act of changing a name. So, Salamah's daughter was named Bara. It's a beautiful name. It means pious or righteous. But the Prophet pointed out that a name like that is kind of like praising yourself. He taught that real piety, true righteousness, that's something only God can truly judge. And so, to teach this lesson of humility, he changed her name to Zainab.
And this act, it wasn't just a nice thought. It perfectly reflects the wisdom you find right in the Quran, which guides us away from praising ourselves with this exact verse. The lesson here is so clear. Our character should come through in our actions, not be declared in our names. Humility is really the foundation of true piety.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit. We've talked about loss and humility, but now let's turn to a moment of pure joy that also happened this year, the birth of the Prophet's grandson, Al-Hasan.
7. This number is really special here. It marks the 7th day after a baby's birth, and it's a time for these beautiful traditions that build a foundation of faith and legacy right from the start.
So on that 7th day, a whole series of beautiful acts were performed for the newborn Al-Hasan. The call to prayer was whispered in his ear, connecting him to his faith from his very first moments. His head was shaved, and then the weight of that tiny bit of hair was given away in silver as charity to the poor. And he was given the name Hassan, which means good. It's just amazing, right? His arrival was celebrated not just with happiness, but with acts of worship and real generosity.
Our final lesson from this absolutely packed year is all about the incredible value of knowledge, of putting in the effort, and, maybe most importantly, of trust. And this is the story of a brilliant young man named Zaid ibn Thaabit.
15. Think about that number. What could you possibly accomplish in just 15 days? Well, for Zaid, it was enough time to completely master a new language.
That's right. The Prophet commanded Zaid to learn the writing and the language of the local Jewish tribes. And in just 15 nights, through sheer brainpower and dedication, he did it. He mastered it. And this wasn't just for fun or some academic exercise. This was a matter of critical importance.
The reason for the command all came down to one word: trust. The prophet needed someone from his own community to handle sensitive letters and messages, someone he could absolutely rely on to read and write without any fear of the message being changed or twisted. Zaid's new skill was essential for protecting crucial information.
And that one act, born from trust and intellect, basically set the course for the rest of Zaid's life. He became a trusted scribe and translator, and one of the most prominent memorizers of the Quran. And years later, he was given the monumental task of compiling the entire Quran into a single volume. I mean, his legacy, which all started with those 15 days of intense work, is just immeasurable.
So there you have it, 5 lessons, all from a single year in history. The generosity of a woman who cared for the poor, the deep compassion shown to a grieving widow, the subtle humility in changing a name, the legacy built on faith at the birth of a child, and the trust that's earned through intellect and hard work. These aren't just stories from the past, they're like blueprints for character. The only question left for us is, how do we apply them in our own lives today?